Hey, what's up, guys? This is Jax, your Minnesota Overlander. It's December 31st, so this is your Thursday night Overlander New Year's Eve special. Granted, we're starting earlier, so it's technically not nighttime, but, we'll keep it what it is. On today's episode, we're going to have our special guest, Wes from Sin City Tactical, join us, so let's get him on in here.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Another day. How's life?
Life's going pretty good, outside of I'd say the 4 or 5 inches of snow we got on the ground up here. We're not doing too shabby. Roads are thankfully clear now. I know for like 3 days straight after the first snowfall, roads were pretty slick, and there were like 500 and some odd spinouts and crashes during the Christmas snowfall up here. So hopefully now that the first snowfall is out of the way, we won't be seeing too much more of that this year.
That's crazy, man. It doesn't get snowy down here in Vegas very rarely. I'd say once every 10, 11, 12 years maybe we'll get snow on the actual ground, and it don't last for long, unfortunately. Me and the family over, 2 days ago, we drove up to Duck Creek, Utah to go play in the snow because we got to travel to get to snow. Well, I guess we could have went to Mount Charleston, but that's just too close to home. We wanted to get away and go check out that. We went through Zion National Park and did a bunch of that stuff, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, so we got a little bit of snow. Unfortunately, we don't get it on the ground. I mean, for you, it's a headache. For us, it's awesome when snow hits the ground. So yeah, well, fun stuff.
Nice. And you're right. Up here, it's a little bit more of a headache than down there. But I mean, it's not too bad from what I would consider being good versus bad. There's been years we've had snowfall. Now, for those of our viewers and listeners out there that don't know much about me, I'm about 6'1", now $180 after high school finally, thank God. But there's been years that I've had snow up to my knees and a little higher than that even. So those years compared to what we've got on the ground now is practically non-existent. So, that's plus side. I'm sure it's real cool for you guys down there when you guys do get snow. Funny story for those of our viewers and listeners that have been with us from the beginning of all this. They know I've done time in service. When I was in AIT, I was down originally stationed at Fort Gordon, Georgia for 25 uniform signal support specialist school. And they got like
what is that?
Signal support, basically IT.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So, it was kind of cool seeing a bunch of the different gadgets and stuff that the Army had and learning about radios and how to program them and things of that nature. Unfortunately, I ended up failing out of that MOS school, and reason being, number one, that's one of the hardest MOS courses to even get through all 16 weeks on. And with faulty equipment and things like that at times, it definitely can take its toll on the overall learning experience there. Let's see, Rory Peterson. I'd say Peterson, but I know it can be pronounced a couple different ways. Says, we need snow. I'm ready to go snowmobiling. Brother, there's enough snow up here to do so, but probably going to be more worth it about an hour or two up north of the cities here to actually open her up wide and go snowmobiling. So,
absolutely, that's a family member of mine up in Wisconsin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So not too far from me then.
I was gonna say he's got snow coming probably soon.
Yeah,
I wish, man. Yeah. So back in the day, I was maybe 16 years old, something like that. He had, I believe it was like a 1980 square body Ford Ranger in red, right? Big, double wide, drag tires on the back, gas tank in the bed of the truck. I absolutely loved that truck, man. I wanted to buy it from him. It was stick shift and drive it back down to Vegas. Unfortunately, we ended up not making that happen. But Yeah, thank you, Rory, for jumping on. We appreciate it. And thank you for the support. And absolutely, you'll probably more than likely get some snow soon. And hopefully at some point, not this year, but next year, I'll be making my way up there for either a hunting trip or just to get out of it, go head up there. So once again, thank you.
I mean, definitely if you do come up here for hunting season and are able to make it, depending on what's going on with the coof by then,
Right.
I'd be more than willing to come join you for that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So obviously that's a plan. I was speaking with my uncle and my grandfather, and I got a family member up there that's got like 5,000 acres of land that would probably go hunting on or something like that. And from what I understand, we'd be flying into Minneapolis to go on that trip. So definitely would have to stop by. And of course, we're going to plan something else to where we get up there probably sooner than that.
Yeah, definitely.
In the fall. Nice to see you as well.
Indeed. But, that's a little further down the line here once, obviously, things open back up and vaccinations are finally, fully distributed out and people are in the all clear. Now, back to my portion of the story, they basically got a light dusting of snow. I wouldn't even call it about an inch, if that even. And the entire post shut down. The entire state of Georgia was in a state of emergency. And I'm standing out there in shorts and, a PT shirt out in the smoke pit having a cigarette. And one of the NCOs comes out of the ops building and walks up and goes, "Cook." And I go, "What's up, sir?" And he goes, "Why are you out here in shorts and a T-shirt? You realize there's snow on the ground and it's cold, it's snowing, or it had snowed. Go in and, put on warmer clothes." And I looked at him and I go, "Sorry, you don't realize I'm from Minnesota where things are like -30 below zero in the wintertime. I have snow up past my knees half the time and I'm still outside grilling."
Right.
He goes, "I don't know how you fuckers do it up there." Now, pardon my French, but that's his, word per his words.
Right. That's funny. Yeah, I was watching a documentary the other day when the dome collapsed on the Vikings stadium on the Metrodome when it was the fiberglass curtain sheeting, too much snow piled up and it caved in the dome, and they ended up having to play against who were they playing? Oh, the Giants. It was the Vikings versus the Giants, and they ended up having to play the game in Detroit because the Vikings stadium had collapsed.
Yeah, and the weird part, I remember that season, and shortly after that, they ended up moving them over to the University of Minnesota Golden Gopher Stadium at TCF Bank Stadium out in Minneapolis. So it's just kind of funny to see where they used to where they were playing like 2 years ago. Now all of a sudden they're at US Bank Stadium. And personally, my opinion with that, they didn't deserve a new stadium. It would have been totally fine, rebuilding the roof of the Metrodome and staying there.
Well, here's the thing, though, them Vikings, they don't know how to play in that snow. That's why they got to have a dome. Go Pack, go Lambeau Field.
Pack, go. Exactly. But, and that's the funny part. I remember that. I remember the 35W bridge collapsing. And, it's just funny to see where things are at now,
Right.
A few years ago, if you asked me, "Oh, yeah, do you think, we'd ever be in a state of lockdown during a pandemic emergency? Do you think you'd be doing a podcast show?" I would have looked at you and said, probably not. I don't know. I guess we'll just find out. But now here we are. We've been doing this now. Let's see. We started back in August. We're coming up at the first of the year tomorrow. So Happy New Year's to all you guys out there watching. But
Happy New Year's.
It'll be 5 months on the 18th of January, and sky's the limit. We do have surprises in store for you guys for Saturday's show on Sin City Tactical side of things.
Yes, we do.
So I don't know if you want to elaborate or if we should just keep that kind of under wraps and let them find out.
There's going to be a special guest on the show that'll be able to answer a lot of. I want to tread lightly so I don't give it all away. Special guest on the show that'll be able to answer a lot of gun-related questions, training questions, things like that. That's all you're going to get from me on the Thursday night show. You'll have to tune in Saturday to get the full coverage on that.
Indeed. And before we move into the first topic here, I just want to quick point out, bottom of the screen there, you see SinCityTactical.xyz or MinnesotaOverlander.xyz. Excuse me. Both of those websites will take you to our main website page for either Sin City Tactical or Minnesota Overlanders. On the website, not only do we have our merch, our backstory, but we also have the live stream going on there, along with the audio that will be posted to the website after the show, as well as Sin City Tactical's last audio podcast show. So definitely check out the website. We have some new merch up there. We have the Defund NFAC and Antifa shirts going as a collaborated shirt. So definitely check that out. It's more so a gag joke to the whole defund the police thing going on up here in Minnesota. We have some ugly Christmas sweaters going on up there, Minnesota Overlander and Sin City Tactical collaborations. The collaborated Snuggie style blanket, as well as tactical bags, holsters for Glock 17, 19, 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 31, 32, 33, and 43 9mm concealed. Is that inside or outside the waist? Yep, inside the waistband Kydex holsters. So check it out. We also have some tactical touch gloves that have the hard knuckles and are still able to operate your cellular device or anything touchscreen. So that's awesome as well. Check it out. Get you guys some merch. Like we've said before, we appreciate your support. And after we're done showing this, we're going to move into the first topic.
These bags are on sale right now as well. Normally we're selling them for $55. They're going for $30 at the moment. You got different colors. Here's a picture of the inside of the bag. So it's like a messenger sling bag, but it's molly loops on the front, some Velcro spots, little tactical messenger bag, as you can see here. All right.
All right. So moving on into the first topic here. Obviously, I made a post on the Minnesota Overlanders Facebook page about the Christmas Day bombing in Nashville, Tennessee. Unfortunately, at the time when I made that, there wasn't much info out. So it was kind of hard to come up with stuff, which I'm waiting until this week's episode to go further into it. Now, with that being said, most of our viewers that watch my Facebook page seen it. I know I have a few likes on it. So again, for all you guys down there in Nashville, Tennessee, or anybody affected by it, my condolences. I apologize, even though it wasn't on my behalf necessarily, for the terrible things that happened on Christmas Day. As of December 25th, though, there were 20 buildings damaged and 3 people injured from the bombing. And then on December 26th, the RV that was involved in explosion, the FBI and the ATF were looking at everything left behind at the scene to identify the suspect. Now, I'm going to go into that a little further here, and let's see. Okay, pull that up, and I will share the page. Let's see, be that one. All right. So this is from December 27th. Law enforcement sources told CBS News the suspect in the Nashville bombing on Christmas Day may have been killed in the blast. DNA tests were being conducted on the human remains found at the scene. Multiple sources confirmed that Anthony Quinn Warner, a Nashville area resident, has been identified as a person of interest in this case. Federal agents are searching his home. Warner, a Nashville area resident, had a similar make and model RV as the one in the photos released to the public. Warner was as a 63-year-old white man. All right, now for starters, being 63 years old, God only knows what's going through his mind. Kind of a personal backstory here. My great-grandmother died from, obviously natural causes, but before her death, she had a major spout with dementia. Who knows if this gentleman, being as old as he was going through that. But, the weird part I find about all of this is what I'm going to read to you next here. And it, to me, makes not even any lick of sense with what's going on with the entirety of the situation being as, from what I've been reading on this, there's supposedly no relation whatsoever. So, Michelle Swing, 29-year-old female from, I believe, California. She's from the Warner, who's the investigation. So both homes were totaled in at $409,000. Says she has no idea that he signed property over to her a month ago as feds probe if he blew himself up at AT&T building because he feared 5G is spying on Americans. On Saturday, reports surfaced that local man Anthony Quinn Warner was a person of interest in the explosion that occurred on 2nd Avenue in Nashville's downtown at 6:40 in the morning on Christmas Day. 3 people were injured and severe damage was reported in the blast. Cops had been called to the area a short time before amid reports of a shooting. When they arrived at the scene, they heard a parked RV plane that claimed the vehicle was 15 minutes. Officials now say they believe the blast was the result of a suicide bombing. The incident has led investigators on a wild chase to determine the identity of the RV's owner. Warner reportedly owned a white RV similar to the one which exploded, and federal agents were seen outside his house Saturday removing items from the basement of the home. Authorities, will swab Warner's mother. Authorities will swab Warner's mother to determine if he is a match to remains found at the bomb site. DailyMail.com can exclusively reveal Warner gave the $160,000 home away for free last month. Michelle Swing, the woman we've been discussing, 29-year-old woman living in Los Angeles, so California, was given the house, but it is not known whether she had ever met Warner or whether she had family ties to him. She claimed she had no idea that Warner signed over the property to her, and Warner had also transferred her a nearby house worth $240 for free in January of 2019. So with all that being said, firstly, I do find that kind of odd and weird. I do have a couple more things to touch on, but I'm going to ask what Wes his thoughts and opinions on this here for a second as of the current moment.
Well, I think the guy, it's a touchy thing, right? With what happened, first of all, blowing up himself, not only himself, but numerous amounts of buildings on downtown or in downtown Nashville is a big thing. Why, I guess, is the question that pops in everybody's head. And hopefully we'll have light shed on that soon for why it happened 100%, not just rumors. And then what was the purpose of the audio recording playing the song that it played? And if he intended on blowing something up or blowing anything up for that matter, why would he have a evacuate immediately, this vehicle is going to blow up playing on it? So in my mind, it doesn't seem like he wanted to hurt anybody directly. But that's, obviously just an opinion. And why did he target what he targeted? I think that's all important things that need to be factored into the situation. And who knows? Nobody knows why people do things that they do except for the person that does it. Maybe there might have been mental illness involved. Who knows, right? There's a bunch of different things. Plus, signing over property that's to somebody who lives in Los Angeles and doesn't even, well, at least according to the sources that you've pulled, does not know who this person is, never met him, or if they even have family ties, is a little strange. He could have left the stuff to his mom, which would have made more sense to me. I don't know. It's interesting situation. We're just going to have to see how it unfolds and see what happens. You know what I mean? At least it wasn't like the Boston bombing or massacre or whatever you want to call it, where that was a direct target on people. We don't want that. That's the last thing we want, especially on Christmas Day. That's pretty drastic time to do anything along those lines. So I don't know. It's hard to comment on when I don't have full facts of the situation,
Indeed. And, from personal opinion, I agree. Nobody at that point in time, anyways, there's updates that I will be getting into here shortly for not only you, but the rest of the viewers and audience. However, from what I've already covered, the overall rumors and, he has the same similar make and model RV. He was this, he was that, had this playing. Police were originally on scene responding to shots fired call. And, I guess, like you said, nobody really knew the motive or the intention, especially doing it on a holiday like Christmas. It's a little over the top and, well, for lack of a better word, ridiculous. And so from my standpoint, when I was reading all that and doing my digging into the situation, I thought it was kind of weird too about the whole Michelle Swing thing. And I have a YouTube clip here. Now, again, disclaimer, whatever I'm about to show in today's show, I do not own the copyrights to or the video itself. This is merely just for educational purposes to follow along with the story that we are covering.
Yeah, media outlet, source, third party. If you are the owner of the content and you would like it to be removed, we are willing to comply. Just send an email to one of the two emails listed in the description below.
Indeed. So I'm going to pull that video up now and get it ready to share.
And disclaimer on that as well, that goes for any and all media used in this live stream, not just this particular clip. The disclaimer is for any and all content that is sourced outside of our own media outlets that we provide ourselves. So we don't own the rights to any of the stuff that we're showing. It is purely for media and educational purposes. And make sure when you go to share the video that you click share audio.
Already did, brother.
Click full screen on your tab, please.
Yep. Just waiting for that to go up. All right. It looks like we're there.
Good evening, everybody. We've got some late breaking news. So Anthony Quinn Warner, the 63-year-old who was the person of interest in the Nashville bombing, now the FBI is starting to look at the incident as a suicide bomber. Now, Anthony Quinn Warner recently had signed over a house for free, a $160,000 home he had signed over to a Michelle Swing living in Los Angeles, California. She did not know that this house had been given to her, but in 2019, he had given her another home, also for free, that was worth some $250,000. So these two homes have been signed over to this lady living in Los Angeles, California. We don't know what relation, if any, she has to the suspect. We don't know if she even knew the suspect at this point. That is all being looked into by law enforcement and federal. Now, the home of the in Antioch, Tennessee, by yesterday, today, they took out items from the basement, and it was reported that this suspect had owned an RV similar to the one that had been used in the explosion. So we have to feel like Anthony Warner is definitely our main suspect at this point, and potentially was vaporized, you could say, in the suicide bombing. Now, we think that is the case. So very close. I would think in the Behavioral Analysis Division of the FBI is going to be able to get an idea of what happened. Went all the way around the world from this was a domestic terrorism attack, which I do believe that it was taking a symbol there until originally thought that it was the AT&T building that was targeted. We know that was not the case. It was the data center hub, which has taken out communications for much of Middle Tennessee and virtually all of Nashville, myself included. And just on if this was some dry run for how quickly communications could be disrupted for millions of people, this was scary. Just on a small level for myself and my wife. My wife teaches online. Most of my business dealings are online. It made just us have to jump through numerous hoops. So when you look at things like 911 services that were disrupted in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee, up and down the line, it really gets scary of how quickly things can go awry and scary things can begin to happen for these municipalities who increasingly more and more rely on automation, rely on internet-based services, cell-based services, and in some cases do not have redundancies on a more physical level. So as we know more, I will certainly bring it to you. It certainly looks like this Anthony Warner had been planning something and was giving away his earthly possessions. If that is the case, I would think we're going to get some manifesto, something. We're going to find out more about if Mr. Warner is to blame for this. And it's still very much an if. Why? As I took this video, Governor Bill Lee has toured the site They have now upped from 20 to 41 buildings were impacted by this explosion. It's hard to believe the fireball was taller than the AT&T building that you see here on the far left. The fireball from the blast was taller than that building, which is, it's insane to think about. He has asked for a state of emergency to be declared by the president. I'd look for that to happen very soon. One of the things that I think it's important that we all realize, especially here at the holidays, is we know that there are bad in this world. Very, very much the majority of people are good. We should not lose sight of that. We should not lose sight of the sacrifices made by personnel. Sure, people were evacuated and were able to mitigate this, what could have been a huge disaster, down to just 3 people being injured. And hats off to these men and women that risk their lives every day. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll bring you more as we have it, as I have the ability to. Thank you so much.
All right. So now that kind of covered it from a different point of view. And that was, I think, the day after I first started looking into things on Christmas Day. So with that being said, it's been a few days and we do have an update. So I do want to go ahead here and share that with you guys real quick to give you guys the update on the Nashville bombing. Okay, so once my screen wants to work with me here, it says Nashville bombing, downtown curfew extended until January 7th. Come on, load. Go ahead and put this in full screen here. Sound on, all the way up.
I believe it was Sunday evening when I became aware.
You got to share the video, bro.
2019 concerning Anthony Warner.
Is it sharing the video? Oh
No.
Oh, I didn't even share the screen.
Yeah, your share screen tab is down. So share screen, share audio button.
There we go. All right, that should be up now. Wrong screen right there. All right. So we're going to go ahead and video here.
I believe it was Sunday evening when I became aware of a possible report from August of 2019 concerning report in and of itself presented a number of questions to which to find more information about before we discuss publicly. Research on the August 2019 call and police action began on Sunday and continued through this morning as we got more information.
Sorry about that. We're having technical difficulties. Let me pull up the video that he was just trying to play on my end. Give me 1 second. Your video stream was coming in all crazy. Give me a second. I'm going to find that exact video that you just had.
Here, I'll just send you the link here.
Yeah, send me the link. I'll pull it up and put it on.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, I think your internet connection kept dropping in and out.
It could be.
Well, that's much better. We this new service that we're using for the live streams allows us to actually have clickable links in our host chat, so that's good. All right, let me get the ad played through here. Share screen. Here we go.
It was Sunday evening when I became aware of a possible report from August of 2019 to Warner. The matter record report in and of itself presented a number of questions to which we needed to find more information about before we discussed it publicly. Research on the August 2019 call and the police action began on Sunday and continued through this morning as we got more information. Here's what we know. On Wednesday morning, August 21st, 2019, South Precinct patrol officers responded to Seaford Lane on a report from an attorney that a woman who lived there had made suicidal threats and was sitting on her front porch with firearms. Upon arrival, officers saw the woman did have 2 pistols on her front porch next to her, but they were not in her possession and were unloaded. The woman said the guns belonged to Tony Warner and that she did not want them in her house any longer. During the officer's conversation with the woman, she said that her boyfriend, Warner, was building bombs in an RV trailer at his residence. The attorney said that Warner frequently talked about military and bomb making, and that he believed Warner knew that what he was doing and was capable of making a bomb. Out of concern for the woman's emotional state, officers called mobile crisis. They in turn spoke with the woman and determined that she was in need of care. Based on what they heard, South Precinct officers responded to Warner's home on Bakertown Road, knocked on the door but received no answer. They saw the RV in the backyard. It was fenced off and they could not see inside the RV. Officers tried several times to get a response at the door. They knocked and knocked and knocked, but never made contact with Anthony Warner. One of the responding officers called the hazardous device unit and relayed the substance of the call. The following day, hazardous device unit officer Kevin Pollard began follow-up. On the 22nd, Officer Pollard sent a narrative over to the FBI Nashville office to do a check on Warner for prior military connections. Later in the day, on August 22nd, the FBI report came back that it checked their holdings and found no records whatsoever on Warner. On August 28th, the FBI reported that Department of Defense checks on Warner was all negative. During this time, Officer Pollard reports that he drove by the home for several days and he had an officer on standby just in the event that if he made contact with Officer Warner, they could do a knock and talk and try to get inside the residence or inside of the mobile home. Officer Pollard continued trying to make contact with Warner through no avail through his landline as well. On August 29th, 2019, Officer Pollard phoned the attorney who was on the scene during the suicidal call. During that conversation, Officer Pollard said that he was attempting to locate Warner and that he was told that he was known to go on camping trips for weeks at a time. Officer Pollard recalled asking whether he could just take a look inside the RV parked behind Warner's home. Officer Pollard recalls the attorney telling him that Warner did not care for the police and I'm not going to be able to let you all do that. It's a quote. Officer Pollard recalls the attorney saying that Warner is capable of making a bomb, but didn't believe he was doing so and didn't believe he was violent. Also during late August, our Specialized Investigations Division looked for any open source information on Warner and they found none. At no time was there evidence or reasonable suspicion that a crime was being committed, and our officers had no legal basis to go in a fenced-in yard or home during August 2019. No additional action was taken after late August, and to the best of my knowledge, no other reports or information about Warner came into the police department. We did not have the knowledge in August 2019, and we had no legal basis for search warrants or subpoenas based on what we knew at the time.
Excuse the ad real quick. As soon as that ad goes away, we'll go back onto the video. Well, there you go. That's
Yeah.
pretty sad stuff, man.
I do agree with you. It's sad what happened. Again, I apologize to everyone affected by it. I've heard of many different things happening. Obviously, the last major thing outside of the Boston massacre that we had happen a few years back was 9/11. And so, it's especially on Christmas Day, it's sad to see things like that take place, especially here in the United States. It doesn't matter where it is, really, but especially here on home turf.
Yeah. Not to mention, I know this is probably lost on you a little bit just because you're on the other side of the country. We've had some pretty big massacre things happen over the course of, I'd say, the past 2 decades, right? So like you said, 9/11's one, Boston Marathon's another, the church shootings and stuff like that. And then anybody here from Vegas and you were here on October 1st, we'll never forget that incident. I was actually supposed to be at that concert. I had a friend that had invited me to go, and I was unable to. So I'm grateful for that. But I do know people that have lost their lives at the October 1st shootings, and I know some people who are directly affected by it. And it's sad that things keep happening with this scenario. But let's get out of the morbid stuff, I think.
Yeah, it's time to move forward. However, last thing I'm going to say quick before we do, now that you bring that up, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Happening.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to line that up real quick, but I figure we're going to quick give you guys a bit of a double package here for both showings this week. Usually we do this mainly on Sin City Tactical's Saturday showing, but we're going to do a tactical gear item of the day. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I got a little bit more cool stuff. And this is kind of a shout out to my parents here for this. Stopped over there on Christmas Day briefly to exchange Christmas presents, and what they got me was another little survival kit kind of similar to what I've been showing you guys during our Saturday showings of the tactical gear review. It is made by Ozark Trail as well. So let's get into it. I know Wes has a different version of these cool little tactical survival cards here. It's a fairly decent size, you know, almost like a credit card. You just slide it on into the leather casing, slip it either down, you know, your front jean pocket. His has a lanyard on it, so he can fit it around his neck and wear it like a necklace if he wants. I usually keep mine in the chest pocket of my flannel, so that's kind of cool. Now, the cool features about it is, on mine, anywho, there's a saw blade up top here. Got your can opener right there. Bottle opener there. Got, well, 2 different sizes of hex head wrench
Multi-tool
sockets there. And then, what was this one here again? I keep forgetting the small circular one. Let's see, 7. Oh, the butterfly wrench. And then you got the compass up here. Now, the cool part about this, and I did some research into the compass portion, it's not like a regular compass like you would find on a dry box or, you know, holding your hand and project azimuths and everything else like that. What you do with this, actually, you find a piece of styrofoam, anything, you know, that floats on water. You set the card on top of it, and being as the card itself is magnetized, that little, well, not shivved out, but cut out half circle dot up at the top points to true north. So that's kind of cool. It also has a small little flathead screwdriver up there. You got a small knife that also kind of wraps around into the can opener. You got a small little measuring tape there, and then a small circle slot there for a lanyard itself. So I could even wear this around my neck if I wanted to. But I just find it easier to throw it in my pocket. The only thing I ever really wear around my neck is my dog tags, and that's about it.
Right.
So,
well, here's my version of that. It's a hard plastic, has a magnifying glass on it. Pull out the first little tab here. It's got a little knife on it, which is cool. And then there's my little hex head socket pieces like he was talking about. And then this one's flint and steel, or the flint and steel, so you can make a fire. So obviously these 2 top pieces, fire starter. Mine's also got a little compass on it. When I pull the side piece here, can opener and flathead. Flip to the other side, knife sharpener. Pull this out. Got some tweezers. Pull out the next little one next to it. Little toothpick thing. Also has centimeters and inches for measurements. And yeah, that's it on mine. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to show off a little bit more here. All right. I got my Packer toolbox, which has now been converted to a gunsmithing case. So I'm going to dig right into that. Let me see. There. And open. Okay. So a little multi-tool thing here. It's got a bunch of different little 1/4-inch attachments, but what's nice about this is you pull out the first piece, you pull out the second piece. So they're very similar, right? In shape and size. And then what I can do is make it a T-handle. So now I have a handle, so a little gunsmithing tool there. It's got star bits, flatheads, what do you call it? Phillips head, so that's pretty cool. Doc Spartan antiseptic. What do I want to call it?
Gun wipes.
It's like a deodorant stick. It's for burns, scrapes, cuts, wounds. You open this up and you rub it on a cut or a wound or something. It's like, damn, why am I blanking on what that's called?
Not cortisone, but a cooling agent, pretty much.
Yeah, it works like whatever. I'll think of it here in a second. Neosporin, that's what it's like. It's like a Neosporin, but instead of being a cream, it's a rub. Here's another little multi-tool that I got. It's called Work Sharp and Outdoor Sharpener. So it's got the ceramic knife sharpener side and then the diamond side. So you do 15 swipes on this side, 15 swipes on this side, sharpens your blade, and then it's got a couple of little like star bits and stuff in it. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
In here is a cleaning kit for a rifle or pistol. Extension rod, which is nice. So nice little compact cleaning kit. There I go, dropping the lid. That's awesome. All right, let's see. So now that I've set all this up, that's a 2-in-1 Glock pin remover tool. Or Glock tool. Oh,
okay.
I forgot to show too that that little card thing also came with like a whistle, a recovery whistle, and of course I've got some gun parts in the top tray there. Got one of these AR-15 Tech Mat or Milli Tech Mat. So that's pretty cool. Gives you a diagram when you're cleaning it. It's a thick neoprene material. Boost Ready. You can find these on Amazon. It is a pick and brush kit for cleaning and removing pins and stuff like that if you need to.
I may have to pick one of those up.
Yeah, Boost Ready. Boost Ready. Okay, let's see what else we got in here.
Well, wait, what tech?
Excise something. I don't know, whatever. Whatever the name is. English ain't my forte.
Yeah, English isn't mine either.
It's a hammer punch set. So it's got steel punches, brass punches. It's got start punches in it and different heads that you can swap on it to soften the hammerhead or something like that if you need to. And then a laser bore sight. So I can sight in scopes and lights and lasers and all that fun stuff.
Yes, sir.
Got to have a headlamp. And then this is a 1911 vice block. Well, universal and 1911 vice block. This allows you to set pins, knock out pins, gas block on your AR pins. Use one of these. You set your gas block down in here. Obviously not on the firearm because you can knock your gas block out of the way of where it needs to be lined up on the barrel. So you put your gas tube and gas block together on one of these first, then you slide it over the barrel and then mount it to the rifle. Makes life 1,000 times easier. And that's all I have in it right now in my gunsmithing tool kit. But I will be adding more stuff, so I'll probably do an update video on this later, showing everybody what's going to go into this gunsmithing toolkit here. But I mean, basically what you just saw is everything that I need. Oh no, I'm missing something that goes in there. And actually,
what we forget. All right. In the meantime, I'll just kind of jump in here. What he's got in there is awesome. I mean, not every single person who goes out to the range, shoots guns, and well, I shouldn't even say just shoots guns, but shoots competition or shoots target practice, whatever the case may be. Obviously, everybody who's a gun owner or gun, pro Second Amendment lover knows when you fire your weapon, you got to clean it. That's kind of something that's been beat into my head, not only from the service side of things, but me and Griff, who will hopefully be back next Thursday or Saturday night, depending on what happens with his day-to-day life schedule. Me and him we'll go to the range even on non-comp nights, and we'll go out shooting. And usually right after we get back from the range, we have a quick little drink together, and then we break the guns down, clean them, put them back together, make sure everything's, operational back together, running right, and call it a night. But what Wes has in that toolkit there is a little bit more on the gunsmithing side, more so on the go out to the range, shoot, come home, and clean my gun type of thing.
Yeah. So what's going to end up going in there, I'm going to have a clean kit go in there. On a previous episode, I showed you guys Allen cleaning patches and the breakthrough gun cleaning solvents and oils and grease and all that stuff. This is the main thing that I wanted to show. So this little blue case, as you can see, is tiny compared to the size of my hand.
Yeah.
Well, I have a big hand too, so I guess that's...
Well, so I mean, so do I, but...
Yeah. That's a pack of hundreds. Yeah, we got big hands. All right. But you're 6'1", I'm 5'5".
Yeah.
So, okay. Inside this kit here, it's kind of hard to see. I literally have every spring, detent, pin, everything you need to fix your rifle in the field. So, give you an example. On the inside there, I don't know if you can see it, but there's springs. I've got springs, roll pins, your buffer tube, plungers, mag release button springs, the plunger for your bolt carrier group, springs for the detents themselves, trigger pins, and your grip spring and detent to hold in your selector, all in this tiny little case. And I have enough parts in here to fix at least 10 to 15 other people's guns while we go out shooting, because I hate malfunctions in the field, because it's not like Minnesota where we can just go shoot basically in the mountains, whatever, and be fine. In Vegas, you got to drive a minimum of 45 minutes if you wanted to go shooting out in the desert, or if you find a range, obviously you could go do that. But I like shooting out in the desert, where it's free and I have more time, more control of everything that I'm doing. So having something like this is a must. So having this with everything else that I showed you, literally everything but the barrel nut, which I have an armorer's wrench that'll end up going in here as well, I have in that kit. So I'm going to have a cleaning kit in there, plus all the tools to build and or repair on the go in that box. So
nice.
That's going to be awesome.
Nice. And I agree with you. It's a little different up here than it is down there. I mean, for me, no, I guess from my house to OGC is okay, if I take the highway directly out to Oakdale, is probably 15 to 20 minutes. Now, if I go from my house to Griff's, meet up with him, carpool in his truck or my car, vice versa, whatever, from his place to the gun club, that's probably adding on an extra like 5, 10, or 15 minutes. So it's definitely not as far from myself or Griff as it would be you to get to a range. But at the end of the day, even so, being on the range, and I've seen this happen even during competition nights. There's guys that'll be out there running their fully decked out competition gun 1911. And I actually had this happen with a guy. He was running, I think, homemade put together 45 ACP rounds in his 1911. And we got to the second course of fire after your practice round and your qualifier. And about midway through the stage, his gun just completely wanted nothing to do with the ammunition. I don't know if it was the fact that the ammunition was loaded wrong and he didn't have the right, load in the weapon, or if it was just because, his firearm was dirty. There's many different aspects. It could have been his magazine too, with failure to feed and things of that nature. So, it sucks when you're out at the range with your buddies, or you're in a large crowd of people that you call your range family, and somebody's gun goes down mid-shot because of something stupid like being dirty, or, you end up accidentally breaking a pin or something stupid like that. That when you go to the range, you have everything under the sun that you could possibly think of needing for in the field work to fix it.
Right. There's one more thing that I want to show too, and this is kind of more of a tactical gear item, I'd say, than like cleaning or anything else. This is called a Polar Pro. So you have your tightening screws here. On the back, it's flat. You see this little tab. It's an unlock tab. What this is, you mount this to a backpack strap, your plate carrier shoulder strap, or something along the lines of that. It is a GoPro first-person view mount. So you can put it onto, nice. I mean, obviously, if you have a helmet, you can do the night vision mount there.
NVD mount,
right?
The rhinos.
Not everybody has those, so this is an option that I had purchased. If you've watched my YouTube videos and you see the first-person view of me shooting into a target with a snowy background, it's usually in all my intro videos. It was made on one of these. So a little backpack strap, GoPro mount, and I have the Hero 8 or 7. One of the two.
Yeah, I do have a question for you, bro. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it'd work on my Vivtar style GoPro.
It should. Do you have a case for it?
Yep. I got the mounting case, but the mounting case only has that bottom.
A little screw on piece?
Screw. Yeah.
Yeah. They make GoPro mounts that fit like tripod pieces. And you would mount the tripod piece to it, and then you can use one of these. No, on that bottom piece with your camera, yeah. I don't know how good the quality would come out video-wise when it comes to that, because like I was going to say, my Hero 7 or 8 Black, whatever, which one I have, I don't remember. It has a gimbal setup built into it, so even if I'm running, it makes the camera look like it's 100% flat. It doesn't look like it's not doing this while I'm running and jumping. Right. You know what I mean? The camera stays stable, which is how I was able to get that footage. And then hopefully soon you guys will start seeing some videos. I got my drone set up with automation to where it'll do active track and follow. So I can put it up in the air and basically set it to track me when I go to run some shooting courses or anything like that. So we should be coming out with some pretty sweet looking content here soon.
Indeed. We're just some techno nerds.
Hey man, look, I like guns and electronics.
Yep. Amen to that, brother.
It's the way to be.
It's kind of funny you mentioned that though, because I have been looking at a few drones myself, because I do want to shoot some more outdoor stuff. Not just with the GoPro camera that I picked up for, out in the back 40s here at the house or at the range, but I kind of figured it'd be kind of cool to have drone style footage for competition nights, or if I'm doing certain types of Overlander builds that I'm actually testing out the product, doing a review on. And matter of fact, I do have a build down the road here that I want to get accomplished. I just have to find the proper stuff for it and get things lined up. It has to be the right price. And once I get all that put together, I'd actually like to get something like what you got. What is that? The DJI Mavic?
DJI Mavic Mini. They came out with
Okay.
a Mavic Mini 2, but I like the Mavic Mini. Personally, that's my drone. So it can fly up to 2 or 3 miles away. It can go up to 300 meters. Obviously, don't fly it that high because altitude on this tiny little thing, it'll probably crash and die, which you don't want, plus heavy wind or strong wind, I should say. And then here in the front, that's a filter for the gimbal. The camera shoots in 4K. Because it's 249 grams, the FAA or FFA or whatever you want to call it, the Air Force pilot, whatever stuff. I'm not a pilot, so I don't know those terms per se.
Me either.
But this thing is light enough to where you shouldn't have any problems with regulations or anything like that when it comes to flying, because of the fact that it's under 250 grams. Something about 250 grams or more, you have to register your drone. That's what it is. You have to register your drone with the FAA, saying that you're a drone pilot and all that stuff. When it's less than 250 grams, like this one, which you'll see here on the side, ultralight, 249 grams. I do not have to register this with the FAA. So just like my guns, I don't like being on lists. And yeah, so
right.
this allows me to do all that. And what's cool about this, like I said, so now once I have it up in the air, I can set it to automated follow and track mode, set the controller down, and it'll be tracking me with its camera, and it'll move and turn depending on what I do. So I can run and gun and have this track me and make movements so I can get some pretty cool cinematic looking shots. So I recommend.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna end up probably purchasing one of those in a few weeks here.
Well, because the Mavic Mini 2 just came out, the Mavic Mini original is on sale pretty strong right now. They're like $200 off what they normally cost, because there's so many people selling their Mavic Minis. Upgrade to a Mavic
I
Mini.
just seen it on Amazon for like $220 something.
See, I paid like $550, almost $600 for mine.
Yep.
And you get about 25 to 30 minutes flight time on one battery. I bought the Ultimate Fly Kit or whatever. It came with 3 batteries and a charger, so I almost have like an hour's worth of fly time with the kit that I have, which is pretty cool.
Oh, which is nice. Now, let's see here. Yeah, we'll move forward here with the shout outs next. And I'm going to let Wes start and go ahead and do the shout out.
All right. Well, first shout out I want to give is Controlled Pair Munitions, local gun shop in Vegas, 7350 West Cheyenne Avenue, suite number 106. Open 7 days a week except for major holidays. Sunday, they open at 11, close at 5. Every other day of the week is from 10 to 7. So kind of rare to have a gun shop open 7 days a week, especially in Vegas. A lot of the other shops are closed. We basically don't close unless there's a major holiday going on, which is awesome. And we got a lot of stuff, lots of stuff. So if you are watching from the Controlled Pair Munitions Facebook, you know we do live stream videos and stuff like that of the current inventory inside the store, not shore, this ain't the beach. Inside the store, Jesus, can't talk right now.
Darn privates.
Yeah. So come check that stuff out. Secondly, shout out to Sight Shooter, Miss Wendy. She's a private firearms instructor. She's changing her format from doing hourly charging to class charging. So one set fee, and it's like an 8-hour class. She supplies targets and sometimes will supply ammo. So check that stuff out. You can check her website out at sightshooter.com, and you can get class schedules and sign up for your classes there. That is, TAC Pack. TAC Pack, use my code SCT Tactical for a free mystery grab bag with your first order. And yeah, I think that's it on the shout outs. Go ahead, Mr. Jax.
All right. So I'm going to also shout Wendy from Sight Shooter out. You know, obviously, as Wes said, she's changing things over. And, you know, the weird part most of our viewers and listeners probably don't know and understand is she is mainly in contact with Wes sponsoring Sin City Tactical, but is gracious enough to sponsor the overall brand itself. So I appreciate it. It's much appreciated from both of our ends. I know that for a fact. And kind of cool to have somebody else in the Pro 2A community not only be so gracious and kind to extend that hand and say, yeah, you know, I will back you guys and help you, you know, promote your stuff too, but have the knowledge for all the classes and that she does teach. So that's kind of awesome. Now, moving forward with the shout outs here, obviously the TACX Pro Gear and the NCCA. You use the code Overlander25 and you can get 15% off your purchase at NCCA and 25% off your purchases at TACXProGear.com. So we've kind of went over some of the stuff that's been on that website there. Check that out and get yourself some Pro Second Amendment goodies, because with everything going on, which we'll touch on a little bit later in the Pro 2A news topic of the day, that you might want to go out there and pick some of that up. You know, we touched on the dump plate for your EDC materials. Now, this isn't a tactical gear item. Well, I mean, I guess it is, but it's really not compared to what I usually carry every day. So in that kit my parents got me, I have this small little foldable, like, I wouldn't even consider it tactical, but more so along the lines of old school hit country boy, Mossy Oak branded knife here from Ozark Trail. You get that mat, you put all your stuff on it that you carry every day, boom, it's right there, good to go. You ain't got to worry about losing anything. Obviously, we have holsters up on our website for Glock, but they have a lot more options too on TACX Pro Gear. So go ahead, check it out, Overlander25. And the one last shout out I want to do here before we give you guys a sneak preview of the upcoming video dropping actually tomorrow. So for the start of 2021, B&E Music. Obviously, I've been kind of promoting them on usual Thursday episodes. Born Hated's album, I played a couple songs off of. I do have some more music sitting, waiting to promote out to you guys. But as of yesterday, the two co-workers of mine I work with from B&E Music, one of them a main producer of the brand itself, and one of the artists known as Warris the Human got their, but Jay Pringle send you the link.
Yeah, for the video.
Oh, okay. Well, that works too. And I'll stop sharing screen. So basically, they got the new cut of the video in that will be dropping February 1st. However, they did drop a teaser for it. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys the teaser. Go ahead and check out B&E Music and follow them too. Comment on teaser video that Jax from the Minnesota Overlanders sent you to check out their stuff, and spread the love. I know nowadays there's a lot of mumble rappers out there. B&E music's not even so much as just strictly rap. They hear styles and genres and flavors that all tie into the same label. So for me, coming across these guys, it's been a pleasure. I work with them 7 to 3, Monday through Friday, and I've gotten to know them real close with them. Good dudes. So check it out. Did you get the link, bro?
Blanco's got me out of spacing. I'm so out of place. East Santo Pablo's known to ride with Satan. I form it out of hatred that.
All right. So that was just a brief snippet of the video drop tomorrow. Again, go over there, check it out. Now, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and give you guys a little clip. Well, not even a little clip, but I'm just going to give you guys a hint here because next week I'm going to be dropping another single off of B&E Music, specifically from what I have been sent from the producer from there that I work with. Now, we'll move forward with the Pro 2A news.
All right, cool. So, big win for the Pro 2A community, and we're going to get right into it here. Pro 2A news. This is a document directly from the ATF.gov firearms/docs/general notice section, billing code 4410-FY-P, Department of Justice, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, docket number 2020R-10W. Objective factors for classifying weapons with stabilizing braces, withdrawal of guidance. Agency, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, Department of Justice. Action, notice withdrawal. Summary, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is announcing the withdrawal of a notice and request for comments entitled Objective Factors for Classifying Weapons with Stabilizing Braces that was published on December 18th of 2020. The withdrawal is effective immediately. I know it says insert date of publication in Federal Register. It's already been put into place. Addresses. This notice also will be made available on the ATF website, atf.gov, which is where I sourced this information. For further information, you can contact Andrew Lang, Office of Regulatory Affairs, Enforcement Program and Services, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, U.S. Department of Justice, 99 New York Avenue, mail stop 6N-518, Washington, D.C. 20226. There's a phone number. This is not a toll-free number. Supplementary information. Upon further consultation with the Department of Justice and the Office of the Deputy Attorney General, ATF is withdrawing, pending further Department of Justice review, the notice and request for comments entitled Objective Factors for Classifying Weapons with Stabilizing Braces. That was published on December 18th, 2020, 85 FR 82516. As explained in this notice, the proposed guidance was not a regulation. The notice informed and invited comment from the industry and public on a proposed guidance prior to issuing a final guidance document. The withdrawal of the guidance does not change any law, regulation, or legally binding requirement. I'm going to add my own little snippet here. So quoting me, your state laws and federal laws have not changed. If you are legally able to own a firearm in your state with a pistol brace on it, you can still do so legally. without fear of felony charges or anything along the lines of that, which is nice. So I do not believe that this is done. I don't believe that they're going to just stop and drop it. Stop, pop, drop, lock it, whatever you want to call it. They're not going to stop. They're going to keep pushing it. They're going to push the issue as much as they can. And what scares me is getting an anti-gun president, anti-gun Congress, anti-gun Senate all at one time. We got a big problem coming if this all happens that way. So for now, we have a big win. The Polymer 80 situation is still happening. They're still trying to get lists of customers that bought Polymer 80 stuff to then raid their homes. From what I heard, Polymer 80 has not released any of their customer information, but people who bought that stuff with credit cards, the credit card companies have been releasing their information. So in the event that you bought Polymer 80 stuff using a credit card, not to scare you, just be alert to the fact that your credit card company may and or may not have given your information to the FBI/ATF. It's a big situation. I know you're excited. Hold on. Polymer 80, put out a statement. They're saying that, they refuse to release customer information, and hopefully it stays that way. Moral of the story is, when you buy things, buy them in cash, and then you don't have a huge paper trail when it comes to that kind of stuff. Of course, I want everything to be done legally, but at the same point too, I'm just an information channel. I don't care what you do. You do you. You have choices you need to make with your life. If you make illegal choices, that's your prerogative. I am not condoning you doing anything illegal. Neither is Jax or the Minnesota Overlanders or Sin City Tactical for that matter. We are only providing you with information. So what that falls back into as well is your solvent traps being made into suppressors and stuff like that. They're probably going to try to start hitting solvent trap customer lists and things of that nature. Once again, I don't care if you buy a solvent trap and make it into a suppressor and register it or not. That is up to you to do. If you make that choice and you get caught for not registering it, you should be able to live with your consequences. That's all I got on the Pro 2A news side.
Fair enough. And before we move on to the USA news here, we'll keep Pro 2A up for a second. I agree with you. Nowadays, obviously, everything's electronic, digital. You got your credit cards, you got your debit cards. I mean, matter of fact, I'm going to be switching my bank account here soon. I just got to, get things moved over. So I've got one card, two cards, and that's not mentioning the Minnesota Overlanders PayPal card that I'm running. Okay, so with that being said, everything's all digital, but like you said, there's paper trail when you're doing online purchases and everything else. Like today before the show, me and Wes were talking and getting things all lined up for you guys. Wes has 3 cards or 4 cards himself, 4. And, obviously I run a pretty bulky wallet as of right this second, but even though it's a single, this being pulled out of your account, nobody knows what this is going to get spent on.
Right.
Because there is no electronic paper trail that says, hey, yep. And matter of fact, I will, after the show, I'll have to screenshot the entirety of what I bought and send it to you.
Yeah.
This way you can see what I'm picking up. I just kind of a sneak preview. Obviously, I had the one piece of equipment in my IFAC break.
Yeah.
So, however, I do need more than one for multiple different reasons. And I think what I'm going to do is once the new one gets here, depending on the setup with it, if it's kind of the same setup as what I'm running right now, I will go ahead and put the old IFAC back on my plate carrier and put the new one on my EDC bag. However, I also have a 3-piece tactical belt with the buckle that you and I were both talking about that you like.
Yes.
Coming. Hopefully they're going to be reasonable size. I don't know. And Happy New Year's to you too, honey.
Happy New Year.
That would be my significant other commenting in on the show. Thank you for watching. But I've got that coming in as well. So if they're a little big, just trust and believe that part of your late Christmas present is going to include one of those. Along with that, I did pick up a new tacticalized wallet in OCP color. So there's that. But I will definitely screenshot it, send you a picture of that afterwards. But touching on the Pro 2A thing, cash over card. Thankfully, for right this second, the SBR thing's kind of off the table, out of the way. Bye, see you later. I mean, they can try again. We don't know for sure what's going to happen, but to be on the safe side, like we've said, we're not condoning you guys going out there doing illegal things.
But I'm not going to stop you either. You do whatever you feel you do, as long as you can live with your consequences. You do you. One thing I will say, and I do not condone this, and no, I disagree. You commit a crime, that I am 100% against that. But whatever you do with your stuff is your stuff. I did want to pull something up real quick. Speaking of IFACs, that's why I want to pull this up real quick.
Bingo.
$39.95. Stealth Angel Survival Field Medic First Aid Survival Kit. These are what they look like. They're molly loop. You can hook them onto your bag. Your inside equipment here. You got Q-tips, medical tape, bandages, burn cream, cold compress, alcohol wipes, emergency drinking water, first aid blanket, some more band-aids, a little multi-tool, a whistle, tweezers, flashlight, a little keychain light. Jax's multi-tool comes in this kit as well, as you can see right there on the screen, the exact one that he was holding. A big compass, tongue depressors, tactical pen for breaking windows and or stabbing if you needed to. And then it also comes with a tourniquet and a flint and steel, which is nice. Normally $99.95. You can get it for $39.95. This is off of stealthangel.com.
Indeed. Which is awesome. Matter of fact, I just took those screenshots. I'm going to send them to you real quick.
Cool.
Of what I picked up. All of this stuff is supposed to arrive to me on Tuesday at the latest. So, come next Thursday's episode on T.N.O, you guys might be getting a specialized preview of what I picked up in I shouldn't even say next Thursday. We'll do it on Saturday because we usually do the tactical gear review items on Sin City Tactical Show. So I may do the wallet on mine and then the updated IFAC and that on Wes's show. So moving into USA news, I wasn't done. For Pro 2A, again, we only strictly put out information to you guys as kind of a guideline to guide you in the right direction so you're not getting caught up and hemmed up with a bunch of different scenarios that could go wrong.
Right.
So with that being said, I'm not out here to babysit you guys or to tell you guys what to do. But if we can give you guys the information and just a small bit of guidance to put you guys from being caught up in a scenario where you could catch a felony on the spot, just for even owning a certain item, or doing something stupid, we're going to try to do that and hope that you guys follow in suit to protect yourselves. But again, you guys that watch the show and gals that watch this show are grown adults. You do what you do, and I can't stop you from doing something stupid. I'm just hoping you don't.
I'm not advocating for you to do something stupid, but what you take from the information put out on this show is what you take it as, and we did not coerce you or persuade you to do one thing over the other. You have to make your own life choices. Adulthood, welcome to it.
Indeed. Now, moving on to USA News. All right. And this is going to be a little thing. I know we've had a very weird NFL season to begin with. But
Go Pack Go.
More so, Go Pack Go. And I'm going to come out and say it. Chris, if you're watching, brother, I'm sorry, but this might not even be something you know about your own team players. So, former Chicago Bear player Michael Richardson is accused of murder down in Arizona. So, the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office on Thursday confirmed that former Chicago Bears All-Pro cornerback Michael Calvin Richardson is a suspect in the fatal shooting on Tuesday of 47-year-old Ronald Like in Phoenix. Tuesday morning, police responded to the shooting and found Like with a gunshot wound. He was transported to a hospital in critical condition and later died. Richardson, 59, was arrested Wednesday and charged with murder, misconduct involving weapons, and a felony warrant. He was booked into Maricopa County Jail, where he is being held without bond. According to online jail records, he is scheduled to appear in court January 7th, a few days from now. Richardson was a Super Bowl champion with 85 Bears and started on their famed defense. He played college football at Arizona State University, 97 through 82. Or 79 through 82, excuse me. He can't go back in time. Duh. And is a Sun Devils Hall of Famer. Reach breaking news reporter Selma Reyes I'm not even going to give out the email or the Twitter, but Selma Reyes is the breaking news reporter that is on this story. Now, for those of you viewing, this is what Richardson looks like at 59 years old. Now, granted, Super Bowl champion, everything else. He had everything going for him. And I'm not going to knock the guy because I wasn't around when he was in the league. I wasn't even thought of yet for probably another 10 years after the 85 season. So with that being said, I'm sure his claim to fame in NFL history was, probably second to none. But doing something like that, especially with the firearm, is what gets you caught up in situations like this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Quick little shout out. Patreon. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by joining our Patreon at either $15, $25, or $50 a month. Or go to anchor.m and search up either Minnesota Overlanders or Sin City Tactical, and you can do smaller donations on a monthly basis through there, and all of it is greatly appreciated. It allows us to get the better equipment to do like the drone videos and the GoPro type of videos and things like that, and it keeps us going. So we would greatly appreciate that. There's exclusive merch with any of the packages that you pick from the Sin City Tactical side on there as well. So stay tuned for more stuff on that. Plus, when you're on Patreon, there is exclusive Patreon-only videos that will pertain to building ARs, taking them apart, swapping out parts, and other various things that cannot be posted on Facebook or YouTube. Those videos are going to be strictly for my Patreon community. So You'll see full AR-15 builds from start to finish on there. You'll see modifications and other things done through the Patreon, so it's worth subscribing for that alone. Besides the fact that you have early access to any of the YouTube videos that are going to be dropped or anything like that as well. So check that out, Patreon.
Indeed. And I do have a couple of things I want to bring up here. As he was talking about merchandise, obviously you guys usually see me in my custom-only Sin City Tactical Target shirt that nobody else outside of myself or Wes are probably ever going to have. And my usual every Thursday Minnesota Overlander hoodie, which I love so much. It's very warm, so get yourself one. However, my brother Wes sent me, for Christmas, mind you, Minnesota Overlanders t-shirts for myself, my significant other in the female color. And I'm not going to say any further just because said person who is a part of our family has yet to get theirs, which I will have to get to.
Yeah,
them.
He's slacking in that, Griff.
Yeah, I know. I done did messed up, Ron. But I do also have the Sin City Tactical banner shirt, which will be worn on Saturday for Saturday's show. Now, as most of the viewers have probably noticed by this point in the show, voila, I finally have my tactical camo netting backdrop that I've been wanting to get now for the past 4 months. Just didn't get time to get around to it, and had other personal things that kind of took priority. So with a Christmas gift of mine, I took that and got all this stuff. Glad to finally, update some stuff. Obviously, the desk, the computer chair, and everything else kind of tied in. So, supporting the channel and the pages and everything else, the Patreons, the Anchor.fms, whatever it is, even if you just end up, watching the show, liking it, sharing it, other pages and that you guys are a part of is greatly appreciated, because that knocks out the algorithm and the views, and possibly down the road, blows it into something more known worldwide visually than what it is audio side of things. So
Absolutely.
We love you guys. I'm going to toast one more time. I know you got your Coke still sitting there.
I do.
Here's to the end of 2020, brother. Start of 2021. Happy New Year's, folks, and we will catch you on Saturday's show. Any last words from you, Wes?
No, sir.
All right, brother. Well,